I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Wednesday, August the 28th, brought to you in part by VITALIX by Mymeta. It's one less needle and a few less worries. It's an oral supplement of trace minerals and vitamins. It will lower the risk of unintended interference with injectable products. For more information, go to buymedaus.com. Fat cattle struggling, and that's a problem, guys. I mean, the fat cattle have been dragging us through this latest rally that we've seen for the last several months here to all-time record highs. Of course, we're kind of on a down market now, but all of a sudden really struggling here. We're down to a 50-cent basis. Are you kidding me? This basis has been running $2, $3, $4, $5, $7, and all of a sudden our latest cash price on 5-area feeding region live steers was $185.54, and our August live cattle are $185.17. So it's caught all the way up here. I wished it would go on beyond our fat cattle sales for $2 or $3 and we get some deliveries, but probably not going to happen. In the northern plains, they were only bidding $184 on Tuesday and not getting anything done, of course, but that's the bottom of last week's price spread. Our fat cattle auction that we always see on Tuesday out of Yankton, South Dakota, it was sharply lower, and they've got big players in there too, but just all of a sudden we're not seeing these packers coming up to the bid on these fat cattle. It's not that they have a lot of them already lined up. It's not that we have oversupply of market-ready fat cattle, but the packers did have a lot of fat cattle bought last week with time, and with time I mean they could pick them up for the next 2 to 4 weeks. And over the last several months we've seen a few cattle that they could pick over the next 2 to 4 weeks. They could pick them up then, but normally they ask for them quicker than that. But now all of a sudden we're seeing the packers back off, not wanting so many fat cattle. We've seen all of our ag commodities higher again on Tuesday, and we saw an up market on Monday. I mean, when's the last time we had 2 days in a row early in the week of really promising futures markets? But we've seen that, but the cash market, especially on the fats, is not following suit here. It's causing a little bit of worry here. Choice boxes fell hard on Tuesday, down almost $4, and that's not good because the boxes have been kind of staying about steady, running about steady amid all these losses, big losses that we've seen the last 2 or 3 weeks on our CME cattle futures. But you know, what are we going to do here? We've got to have a good fat cattle market to keep this feeder market going. Now we've seen a couple of days of positive futures, cattle futures, and our feeder cattle selling pretty well on Tuesday. Of course, they're lower than they've been, but better than the Monday sales, and pretty darn close to where we saw here just a couple of weeks ago when we were at all-time record highs. And I'm going to tell you about that at the end of the report. But there's still a lot of demand for feeder cattle. Calves, there's demand for them, but we're seeing the early ballers come in, and it's still hot. Nobody really wants to try to straighten up and wean ballers in this heat right now. But when we see some nice offerings of weaned calves come in, they sell really well. But my good friend Jack Payne and Nevada Livestock Marketing, which he runs there in Fallon, Nevada, and I go out and help him auctioneer a few times a year on their special feeder cattle auctions. He's ramping up for another big Trump rally. We had one 4 years ago, and it was awesome. We had a huge Trump rally. Don Jr. was there. We had a huge crowd, raised a bunch of money. A lot of people donated cattle for the Trump campaign, and we sold those cattle. They donated all the money to the Trump campaign. It was a great event, and he is planning another one for September the 28th. Now, Nevada is a battleground state. We've got to get Nevada for Trump. But we've also got to pay attention that, we're calling this rally Ranchers for Trump, because Kamala Harris has really declared war against ag, and a lot of ag people are not paying any attention to it. But, the few policies that we've seen her talk about, none of them are pro-ag. As if she knew what a farmer ranch was, which I really doubt. But, this unrealized assets tax that she's coming up with, that will kill ag, guys. It will kill these farming operations, these long many families involved and handed down. It will kill it. We cannot let this happen, guys. Of course, she's also talked about restrictions on red meat intake. She's all about the Green New Deal. She thinks that burps and farts from cattle are killing our universe. We've got to get Trump back in there, and we are going to have a huge rally, and I'm going to be there on September the 28th at Nevada Livestock Marketing in Fallon, Nevada. He's going to have a rodeo event there. He's got some roping scheduled there. We're going to have a huge crowd. We're going to raise a ton of money for the Trump rally. We're not sure who all is going to show up. Harriet Hageman from Wyoming has expressed her interest in coming. Of course, she's the one that is fighting the mandatory EID on cattle. Well, we want to get in there and talk to her. We want to build her up. We want to support her. Guys, get to thinking about that. Donate some cattle to the Trump rally at Nevada Livestock Marketing. And if you can, if all possible, be there. Don't forget about our Punch and Pick of the Month contest. We're getting the end of the month again already, and we're going to be awarding the grand prize to the winner of the Punch and Pick of the Month. I haven't seen very many of the picks, but I'm sure there's going to be some good ones because I have seen them come in, but I usually get them all filtered out before they come to me. But whoever wins the Punch and Pick of the Month contest is going to get a huge box. It's going to be full of swag from Beaver Feed Company in Beaver, Oklahoma, Beaver County Stockyards, NationalBeefWire, Feeder Flash. Of course, the best part of the prize is going to be the whole case of Fairpiece, that revolutionary product that's scientifically proven. Check out the end of this Feeder Flash episode. I'm going to attach a video for Fairpiece to give you a little bit more information. Let's talk about our board on Tuesday. August live cattle futures were up 157 at 185.17, and like I said, your latest cash 5 area live steer weighted average was 185.54, so I'm almost caught that. Of course, the August contract's about gone. There's not much trade in it, but I'm still going to talk about it here for another day or so until it goes off. October live cattle was up 242. That is huge. 179.40. It's not 180 yet, and I know it's a long ways back from where we're trading right now, but gaining that much ground here late in this month is really important. And our back months were up $1.12 to up 247. August feeder cattle were down 30 cents at 244.20. Of course, it's just trying to back up a little bit because our index values for cash feeders has fallen below our August feeder cattle contract, so it's got to back up a little bit here at the end of the month to try to get in line with that. But when you get out in front, they're all higher. September was up 57 cents at 241.92, and then your back months from there were up 90 to up 162. So big gains on your cattle futures, which we took it. I said we'll take it on Monday, and we're glad to have it on Tuesday. December corn was up 6 1/4 cents. I told you all your ag commodities were higher. Up 6 1/4 cents on December corn at 392 3/4. November beans up 5 3/4 cents a bushel at 986 1/2. Kansas City hard red winter wheat for December up 9 1/2 cents a bushel at 546 3/4. Why were all of our ag commodities higher? Maybe because our dollar was a little bit cheaper and it might entice a little bit more of exporting of all of our ag products, so we'll see about that. Fat cattle trade, and of course your packers don't want to come in and trade anytime when we got a supportive board. There was zero, for the most part, any trade on a direct basis out of our 5-area feeding region. We saw a little bit of dairy steers trading from 168 to 170, but for the most part, on beef steers and heifers, we didn't see any trade reported at all for Tuesday. We did have our market finder there at Stockman's Livestock Market in Yankton, South Dakota. Fat cattle auction. They had 900 head in overnight, 1,400 head of fat cattle there for their Tuesday sale, and it was a lot lower. Like I talked about at the beginning of this report, conventional fat cattle in Yankton sell from 180 to 185. That was $4 to $4.50 lower. Tell you what, these packers are playing hardball, guys. Program cattle, non-implanted or drug-free, sell from 183 to 187.75. That was $4 to $6.50 lower. There was a lot of two-way cattle in there. Cattle that were probably good enough to go to slaughter, but there were also farmer feeders in there buying those cattle to take back to their lots and finish them a little bit more. And they sell from 178.50 to 187. Box beef cutout values. We've got seasonal weakness coming up here as we enter the fall. You know, we're kind of behind our big grilling demand. Even though football's coming up, temperatures are cooling off, people are still going to be grilling on their grill, but we're not seeing that big demand at the wholesale level there because, you know, that product's probably already on its way to the retail counter. But choice cuts were down $3.93 at $311.97. Ouch. Selects were up 6 cents at $300.25. Your slaughter, we've had a couple of packing plants that's had a couple of problems here early in the week, and up through the first 2 days of the week, just 237,000 estimated slaughter on cattle. That's 4,000 less than a week ago, 15,000 less than the same time a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Performance Livestock Analytics. They want to help the smaller producers compete. Talk about herd health. With Performance Beef, it gives you a centralized place where you can easily find individual animal health and performance records, and you can track sick pulls from the pen or the pasture. For more information, go to performancelivestockanalytics.com. Talk about your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on DVAuction based on an 800-pound auction steer up through your middle 12 states. Ended the day on Tuesday at 240.59. That was down just 9 cents, or basically steady. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index was 242.63. Talk about your big sales on Tuesday. Ozarks Regional Stockyard in West Plains, Missouri. They had 1,600 through the ring and over 1,200 on their in-house video auction that they do with help from DVAuction. And they had cattle from all over the country, guys. And they do that week in, week out. They stop the sale at a certain time. They pull up those videos, and Steve Anderson is doing a good job getting these consignments from all over the country. I mean, from Abilene, Texas, to up in the Flint Hills, way over in Mississippi. I mean, they got cattle from all over. This cattle all got a value. They got buyers there. They got people online on DVAuction that are interested in them. He's done a really good job with that. And just think how much it's helping their receipts. But the cattle through the ring, feeders sold $3 to $6 higher. Calves were uneven from $3 lower to $4 higher, but a higher market overall. And West Plains, Missouri, there at Ozarks Regional Stockyard, going to be coming to Houston, Missouri, Texas County, Missouri there in October. Going to be giving a program there, and Ozarks Regional Stockyard is going to be sponsoring that. Looking forward to seeing everybody there. But an individual quote from West Plains was 136 steers weighed 789 at 250. Not too bad for extreme south central Missouri there, guys. Your National Beef Wire stick-out sale of the day was Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma. I told you about the good sale they was going to have on our last visit, and it ended up being even larger than what I thought. They were expecting about 3,800 cattle. They ended up with 4,200 cattle, and the feeder steers were steady to $3 higher, and that's what they had the most of. Look at this automated market report through Cattle Market Central, and you look at your best tested weights. They had 304 head of 6-weight steers. They averaged 660 pounds with a weighted average price of $260.59. There were 319 head of 8-weight steers. They averaged 828 pounds at $243.50. Almost 1,600 head of 9-weight feeder steers, most all black-hided green grass steers off grass there, guys. They averaged 933 with a weighted average price of $234.74. They had several 10-weight steers not on this market report, but several big drags of 10-weight steers that bring from $225 to $227. Now look at the heifers on this automated report. 272 head of 6-weight heifers averaged 653 at $238.09, and 245 head of 7-weight heifers had an average weight of 750 pounds, a weighted average price of $233.57. Great sale there in Beaver, Oklahoma. They're going to have another big sale with a lot of yearlings next week right after Labor Day, and then we're going to have the Feeder Flash Special on September the 10th. I'm going to be up there for that. They're going to have another big lot of loads coming in there of yearlings right off grass for that sale. Let's talk about some individual quotes from all over the region. How about Lone Star Stockyards in Wildorado, Texas, just west of Amarillo here. 87 steer calves weighed 496, almost 500 pounds at $3.20 a pound. Pretty dang respectable there. How about Lolly Brothers Livestock Market, been with DVAuction forever, in Macon, Missouri. They sell 80 steers weighed 615 pounds at $302. They also sold feeder heifers really well there. They had a load of heifers weigh 705, bring $250, $210. Good sale there in Macon, Missouri. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Tuesday in your Macrocin No BS top quote of the day come from Fredonia, Kansas at Fredonia Livestock Auction. It was 126 head of the Roker Brothers steers there, right off the Osage. They weighed 797, tickling 800 pounds, guys, at $256. And that's your feeder flash for Wednesday.